मैं अपना बैग लेके आ रहा हूँ.
Soma, could you please check with Vani if you can see us, see the screen now and the camera is on. Camera is on?
Samakshi, I can.
Yeah? Perfect.
It is the barricading.
Samakshi done.
YouTube live is also working. I'll skip it. I'll skip it.
Vani, can you hear us, see us?
Yes, very well.
Okay, okay, perfect. तो आपने जो भी किया वो ऑन रखिएगा.
Smile, everyone, smile.
Smile.
Thumbs up कर दो सब लोग. ये one दूसरी का thumbs up. Thank you. I will. Thumbs up. Nice one. Very good. Thank you.
And I'll explain that later why she's very important. Because one of your models is dependent on school. And maybe those schools who want to really work, that is very hard. She works with something. Please have to write it. So this one is all okay.
आपको क्लिक करके मुझे WhatsApp पे भेजना है। I want to photograph expert चल तो पहले तो फिर इसको मतलब मैंने बोला हाँ
मतलब वापस
ट्विटर में भी हेल्प हो जाएगी पानी को
Hello, Vani. Okay.
Hello, hello, hello. Check, check, check. Hello, hello. Check, check, check. Hello, hello. Check, check, check. Hello, hello. Check, check, check.
Hi, all the best for the event.
ठीक है? Good morning everyone. Good afternoon. Now it's 12. Can I request everyone to please settle? We will just begin. I think people have logged in. So thank you so much. Vani, Shrey, can you hear us? See us? All right.
I can see you.
Can you put on your cameras if possible? It'll be easier. Thank you. Hello, Nishant. Thank you. Please have a seat. How are you? Namaste. Shall we? Soma, can we start? Devashish, aye. Watch out your steps, yeah. So good afternoon, friends. Namaste. This is Devashish who's clicking the picture. We have our official photographer, Prakash Rao, who's my colleague. All the people who are working here are doing this work for voluntary reasons. So thank you so much to each one of you. Devashish and I are privileged to be part of this foundation, which we have just started or initiated. And please pardon me if I can't recognize some of you. This mask has changed our life, but I'll still request to keep the mask on if you can. And I'm going to keep it on because I have to speak. So thank you once again. I know you all are coming and braving this cold and weather. So really, really appreciate. Thank you so much. Devashish and I have been thinking. Devashish's wife is a school teacher who works something very special, and he's very, very passionate about kids. But you know what happened? I think a few days ago, my sister, who's also here, they're building a home, and they got a quote at their home which says that the one I love is everywhere. That's by Rumi. The one I love is everywhere. And when I was listening, it was a very profound statement. And I thought that how do I feel this emotion every day? And I think this emotion comes most strongly, and I'm sure I speak for most of you, whenever we see the kids, right? Whenever we see the youngsters. And the kids can be your family and my family, or this kid who's begging on the street. And every time it evokes an emotion, but sometimes we don't know what to do. How do we bring equality? And I'm going to rewind a few more years. My son Shrey, who's there, in Sri Ram school, they told and gave us a project. And we wanted to do something, and he came up with a name called C, Sensitivity, Empowerment, and Education for Children. We thought if we can bring in three things: sensitivity in our minds, empowerment for kids and education to them. We'll be able to bring them to the equal footprint. That was the whole thought where this started off. And 3 years ago in New York at Central Park opposite JW Marriott, I remember very clearly, and I'm giving you this context so that know how the dots gets connected. My partner, late Shelley, we both wrote down a plan and we said, okay, how do we bring education to the kids in a most equal manner? And I'll keep using the word equality because I think that's what is missing in our society and in the world as a whole. And Vishal, I took the name of Shelley and you walked in. Come. So these are some of the instances I want to tell you how it shaped up. And few months ago, Devashish and I got together because we were told to incorporate a trust, you need true trustees. So we thought we both trust each other and we trust the cause. So we decided to be the true trustees. And that's how the YouInYou Foundation came up, friends. And when I say YouInYou, the name itself is self-explanatory. It's basically helping youngsters to find the you in you, right? Can they find themselves? And we have a small presentation. We cannot introduce each one of you, but as we progress, feel free to give your inputs, ask questions. We have a light lunch towards the end of it, which is around 1 o'clock, 1:15. That's where we'll break. There's tea, coffee. In case you need anything, you can ask us. So just raise a hand, we will arrange. But thank you once again for joining. And before I move forward, Devashish, anything you want to say before I start?
So thank you everyone for joining. I think people like you are the ones who motivate us. And we are very, very eager and keen to do what we want to do for young children and for youth in general. Two very exciting things that we're going to unveil today. So all the best to you and you.
Thank you, Devashish. Friends, I love Urdu poetry. So there is a song you would have heard by Nida Fazli. घर से मस्जिद है बहुत दूर चलो यूं कर लें किसी रोते हुए बच्चे को हंसाया जाए. I get very emotional when I say this, but I think this is the journey that we thought that we will take forward. And this is the reality that you see, you hear. I'm not going to explain every slide, but this is how it looks like, and it started off. And when we move forward, we realize that we are not surely making it easy for them. And while we say that 1 out of 5 adolescents in India suffer from some kind of a problem, 15% suffer from mental illness, and suicide is the 3rd leading cause for the death of people in this age. Isn't it something very shocking? Why is it happening? Right? On one side, we are so proud of what our kids are doing, but why this is happening? You know the IIT and IIM stats, so I'm not going to give it to you. We all know what's happening. So the key issues that we looked at, I think about 100 kids we met. And when I say kids, please pardon me, especially youngsters here. I know you're not kids, but from my perspective, when we meet these youngsters, there are 3 things which comes up in every conversation. And they come to me or Devashish for various other reasons. They can't discuss things with their parents. So we end up becoming de facto counselors, if I can use the word. And in all those meetings, about 100 of them, we consolidated and we came up with these 3 reasons. One, they're saying, how do I manage relationships? I remember a 9th class student who came up, a girl from Gurgaon, and she said, I'm in love with someone. So, you know, on one side, you can say, stupid, you are just 9th class kid, but there is a reality. Who does she talk to, right? Parents and the school ridiculed that girl. And the girl was in very, very deep mental trauma. So small things. So they're always asking, how do we manage the relationships? Second thing is, okay, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to do? This is the second thing. They're constantly seeking or asking guidance from their parents, from their teacher, whosoever they can, right? And third is they're constantly saying, if there is an issue, how do I come over? For everything, I can't take sedatives or medicines, right? That's what, so how do I take care of it without getting caught into this allopathic world? I think is what we heard the 3 things from most of the youngsters, and we proceeded forward. And then we looked at the sustainable development goals of UNDP. If you look at 2 things, the good health and well-being and quality of education, I think we picked up these 2 agenda points and we said, we will take this forward in this. And that's where we came up and we said, we will help people find themselves. And the objective that we came up, can we enrich the present so that we can strengthen the future of all of them? And our focus area will be 13 years to 21 years is what we thought of. And as we progressed, we said, what can be our mission? So we said, can we be the full stack for young minds, right? When I say full stack, what does that full stack mean? Full stack is which will help them to connect, which will help them to become what they want to be. But the full stack means on one side, making sure that they get the best of the education that they deserve. And on the other side, they can get the guidance that they need to beyond their parents. How do we make sure that both are given to them, not one at the cost of another, and not just making it the privileged to some and few only kids? That's how we came up. So friends, we came up with these two broad initiatives, C for Children, and second is Life Matrix. And I'm going to explain you what they are and how they progress. But again, I'm going to request if you have any questions, please just indicate, we'll be happy to answer. So this is C for Children. We just thought, how do we make sure that the parties that we do, the gifts that we make, can we all orient them towards young kids and make sure that the financial help reaches to the schools who can help the underprivileged children? That's how this whole thought came. And we said, can we sponsor a child? Can we sponsor a class? Or can we sponsor a school? And I'm going to introduce you the two most special teams here, the two schools that we have identified, the reason we exist for them. And we came up with this number of 1,500 rupees. So can we spread this news in our network and say, you can donate 1,500 rupees and you can educate one child? I know there are so many initiatives like that, but we'll tell you why this is a little different and special that it will do. And if there are so-called HNIs who wants to donate a class, so they can donate about 75,000 rupees. That's how the idea came, that you can sponsor a child or you can sponsor a class. And all we need is about 20 to 30 crore rupees, not too much annually. I still consider it's not too much because with that money, we'll be able to manage almost 8 to 10,000 students. Imagine if in Delhi, we can take care of 8 to 10,000 students in this amount. And this amount may look large, but when you look at 20,000 people donating 1,000 rupees, it's nothing, right? Or we found some HNIs. So that's how this is being shaped up, friends. And that's how the whole idea came up. And we said, we will empower these children through education. So this is the first part. Devashish, anything you wish to add on this? Any questions you have on C for Children? More than happy to answer. This is the first part. So I'm going to introduce you to most special people here, as we said, because they are the reason we exist. So there is this school called SSMI, not a school, it's a foundation. You've got to go there to believe what they're doing. It's in Paschim Vihar, about 30 kilometers where we are sitting. 4-acre campus. They've been approached by all kind of wealthy schools to convert this into a high-paying school, like any good school. And there's nothing wrong in it. But this school is only and only focused on underprivileged children. The families, they may be rickshaw pullers, they may be maid servants who are working, their kids are going into school, and brilliant school infrastructure. And we have Sunita ji here. Sunita ji, thank you so much. Can I request you to please come here for a minute? Now, and when I see people like them, it's so inspirational. For years, they've been doing this work, right? Years. And I don't know, where do you get this kind of energy, Sunita ji? And Mr. Rao, who's not here, he had to be out. He's another founder. Between both of them, how they're running the school with so much of love. And before I ask her to speak, I want to just show you what they're doing. They have centers. They are running aided schools. Aided school means government of Delhi is helping them in managing the expenses. And I will not mince words, and I'm not anti-Delhi or AAP, don't get me wrong. They have great intentions, but on ground, the challenge is very different. They are paying 60,000 rupees to a teacher. 60,000 is a lot of money. And those teachers are not motivated to teach, right? Because they just feel that they're getting that salary from school. But imagine who will teach the kids. So they employ teachers at a different salary who can teach. Can you imagine? You have teachers sitting in a staff room getting 60,000 rupees salary and not teaching. And then there is another set of teachers who are coming in and teaching because they want to teach the students. This is the challenge institutions like this face. They have almost 800 students that they're helping. When the COVID happened, they reached out to their homes, almost in a slum where they started doing so incredible work. They arranged phones, reached out to the kids. Not only kids, even their families are taught, right? So this is the work they're doing. This is some of the pictures of infra, just to make you feel and give a glimpse. In the middle, you see myself, Devashish, and Soma standing once we visited with Mr. Rao. and with her. And this is what the work they are doing. I'm going to let her speak, but just wanted to give you a feel of it. And Sunita ji, would love to hear from you about the school.
Uh, Thank you. Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you, Devashish. I mean, it's a privilege and also very overwhelming for me, to be honest, to be considered as one of the partners in such a big initiative that they have taken on. And I honestly wish you all good luck and immense wishes that you succeed in your mission. The mission is very clear, like Pankaj has just explained, that yes, we are running a free school, and some of the mothers work with us in our skill development center. We have a production unit of textiles. Ultimately, the aim is to make it as sustainable as possible. Challenges are always there. Everywhere there will be challenges. Our aim and mission is, if the mother is empowered, the child will do well in life. And so we try to impart that kind of knowledge. And the rest he has already explained.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. When we walked in, we realized if somebody takes the load off from her and Mr. Rao of collecting funds, right? These are teachers.
In fact, Pankaj,
Yeah.
Mr. Vijay Rao is here, Nishant's
yes.
father.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, a big hand for him
Namaste,
too.
namaste, namaste. So this is the family who's supporting all this. So it's so nice. So thank you, Devashish, for highlighting. So we were just, Devashish and I and Soma were discussing, can we take the load off for raising this fund, right? Because they're spending so much of time on raising fund and then
That gone?
Voice नहीं गया.
Okay, link is on. Yeah. All right. So this is the idea, and friends, we come from the world of business. We've understood the numerator and denominator. I think Sandeep, who was on my board, taught me this at pretty early stages of entrepreneurship. So I'll give you these numbers for you to remember. In school, running a school of about 800 to 1,000 kids in Delhi needs about 3 crore, if not more. If we somehow get 3 crore a year, they'll be able to manage the school broad and time. Am I right? I'm asking because you run, I'm going to come to you. So this is how the numerator and denominator we run. So 1,000 kids, 3 crore is not too much in a month. Like 25, 30 lakh a month, we can definitely arrange to run one school. If we become, C4 Children become that logistics or infra layer for 10 such schools in Delhi or outside Delhi, we can manage 10,000 kids. Imagine 10,000 kids, at least I couldn't imagine otherwise without owning a building, how can we do that? So school building is not about buildings, is what Devashish and I understood. Building schools is a very different thing. So that's our endeavor, that's our hope that we'll be able to help SSMI in raising the capital on a regular basis. And we'll come back to you how these things are being done. Please don't think here, when you are here, we are expecting you to come and become a financial donor. That's not the objective. Our objective is please give us your blessings. And our objective is talk about this initiative.
There is a credibility you bring to this whole initiative. And we are looking for 15, 20,000 people who can do crowdfunding. And we are somehow very sure that it will happen sooner or later. It's just a matter of time. So, sorry, GK? So almost, it was a 50-50 ratio, but is that right? So 55-45 DK. And there is one more beautiful school we have just go. So we have Kushal and Saloni, the founders. Can I just request you to please house and come here?
Why don't you both come?
Now this is another brilliant story. You all know Gurgaon, the metro station of Gurgaon, Huda Center. There is a school called Shikshantar. Many of you know, so I'm naming that. Just near that, I never knew because my son went to Shikshantar. I walked in 100 meters inside, and this beautiful school, very efficiently done. Completely digital, most efficient. I'm telling you, the best of the schools will be amazed to see the way Kushal and Saloni are running or building the school. I would encourage you, if you allow, to please visit that school. You'll have to see. You know what I did? There was a space which is about 3 feet wide and 6 feet long. So Kushal, while showing me the place, took me inside. Imagine 3 feet wide, I could just barely go like this. And 6 feet. I walked in, there was a fantastic computer screen. I could write using a digital pen, everything. Their teachers sit there. It was completely soundproof. And it was telecasted in all the classes. Most of the classes has tin roof. Can you imagine how digital systems have been used? And in COVID times, what they've done, the food that they have distributed, etc. I'm not getting into those details. And they have got a beautiful land now in Sona, which they will talk about, which they're going to build up. Again, a school with the similar numbers that I talked about. Our idea is that how can we help Kushal and Sony to do the beautiful work they're doing, and we take the load off by getting them the financials required. So that's the whole idea that we picked up. But we would love to hear from you, Devashish. Mike. This is some of the pictures. It was very inspirational. I'm really urging you on weekends when you are free, take your kids and show them this. This is the world. You will think that your weekend was well spent. And this is what they are doing, multiple things, and so many kids they have that they're doing. So we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you, Pankaj, and Devashish for having us here. And we are very privileged that YouInYou Foundation has selected Lotus Petal as one of the partners. And we share a very common vision, which is that every child, irrespective of whichever family they are born in, they deserve the right to get a good quality education, healthcare, and nutrition, so that it's an equal opportunity to make it in life. And that has been the guiding force behind Lotus Petal Foundation. And we have over 700 children studying currently in our school. And to describe what we have been doing, maybe if you could go back one slide. So you see this girl over here. She is the first student of the school. And in 2013, she came to us and was part of a program called Pratishthan. We still run this program. And most of the children in India from the poor background, they are deprived of quality primary education, as a result of which they are not able to progress in life. And as they go into higher classes, they are kind of falling off the education bandwagon because they don't understand what is being taught in the class. So this girl, who also is named Saloni, came to us in 2013. She was 14 years old at that time, and her education level was grade 4. Her mother is a cook and a maid in the various households in Gurgaon, and they live in Badshahpur slums. And as we speak today, in the last 6 years, Saloni actually completed her 10th, her 12th through our fast track program. And then we were able to send her to Akash coaching, and she cleared NEET last year. And right now she has completed the first year of her dental studies in Sirsa Medical College in Haryana. So our endeavor is that every child should get this opportunity, and we have been fortunate that many people share our vision, and we have been blessed that we have a donor who kind of gave us 5 acres of land near Sona. And we actually started the construction of the school day before yesterday. It's going to be a 5-acre campus with capacity to teach almost 10,000 students. And all of them are going to be from the underprivileged background. And the dream that we have, that it will be a school at par with any good school in Gurgaon. And it will be for the less privileged child, so that they get an equal opportunity to make it in life. And I hope that with this association, we will be inspired, and we would like to make a difference. I was very inspired to start this journey. I was in the corporate sector. I used to work in IKEA, leading a global carpet business, an engineer, MBA from IIM Lucknow. And I was very inspired by Gandhiji when he said that, be the change you want to see. And that is what inspired to get into this arena. And one thing has led to the other. I quit my corporate career and now full-time focusing on running Lotus Petal Foundation.
And it's
Saloni?
such a structured process. There are 75 people team. I'm telling you, you will be amazed to see the digital systems deployed in the school. And we are going to take this learning to other schools as well, because we wanted this to be a role model school like that and can be implemented in the other schools that we do. So thank you so much again. And we hope this 10,000 journey, Saloni, we will be giving you the financial backup so that you can make sure all of them become the doctors, engineers, lawyers, painters, artists, whatever they wish to. You want to say something?
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. And today is also the beginning of the International Day and Week of Education. And today is the National Day of the Girl Child. So thank you, Pankaj, and thank you, Debashish, for inviting us. And, when you want to do, every day is the right day, but today is really a special day. So, when you want to do something right, the universe really conspires and, the stars align. I'll just keep it short. And thank you so much for the inspiration, ma'am. Maybe I'll have a cup of tea with you and learn through your experiences. Lotus Petal is really a citizens initiative. It's really all of us. It's just people like you and me and you and you. And it's all of us who've had food on our table, good health, good schools, travel, good homes, and with the fullness of the gratitude, we want to give back. And all of us, it's really an ecosystem of people who want to transform. And Lotus Petal, when we entered, Pankaj said, it's because of you we are here, but it's really because of these children, all of us are here. So what brings us all together is the common vision of being thankful for our own lives and to give back to the society so other people can also have good lives like us. Like Saloni, and you'll see her two siblings, Nayank and Puneet. They're also working in regular jobs, and they live in Pakka homes. They have an attached toilet and a kitchen now. Wow. There's no more a tin roof, and their life will never be what it used to be. Their mom will not sell pakoras on Sector 4. So this is the power of when all of us come together and just work towards a common vision. And we would just love to have all of you all come meet us, have a cup of tea with us, see the school, meet the children and the teachers, and see how it operates. And please call it your own. And with whatever capacity and whenever you would like to come, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Saloni. Thank you, Kushal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Saloni. Thank you. Thank you. It's wonderful.
So this is the power we are having, and I want to just welcome
Manisha Malhotra, ma'am. She is the principal of the Sri Ram School, Mulsari. She is here with us. That's she doing Namaste right there. And Manisha, ma'am, we'll of course introduce Shaurya Sinha later in the presentation in the next part, which is something very interesting.
Yeah. So
and thank you so much, ma'am, for your blessings and gracing the occasion today.
We wanted to learn from the larger schools, most established schools, how they are doing. So thank you, Manisha ji, for joining. You want to say anything? One quick line?
Namaste, everyone, and a warm good morning on this cold, chilly day. I wish I could have been there, but I have sprained my knee and it's been hurting. Otherwise, I was looking forward to being there. I want to congratulate you on both the initiatives. They are much needed and much required. And I'm sure not only the other schools, but even some of the private schools will benefit from both, especially the second initiative that you have, because a lot is required in the field of inculcating values. So wish you all the best and thank you so much. It's wonderful to know about the two schools that you've talked about. While I was listening at the Mulsari campus, which is in DLF Phase 3, we do have some children, we call them pupils from the economically weaker section, who we teach along with the mainstream. And I was thinking maybe I'll send my teacher to Lotus Petal Foundation and the Swami Sivanand Memorial Institute, because there can be a lot learning for us as well. So thank you for inviting me. It's been an honor and a privilege.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manisha, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So friends, this was one initiative, I repeat, C for Children, which is one pillar on the financial inclusion side so that we can make these schools work and become independent so that they can focus on quality. Shrey, you want to say a quick word because you coined this and incorporated this, and then I'll move on.
Yeah, so I remember this was long back. This was 4 years back. Then me and she started this. So this entire event actually started when you guys had a celebration party in Central Park where you actually collected around 80,000 rupees for an underprivileged school in Ghaziabad. And from there, we both started talking about how actually we should actually do something for children in general. So we thought of 3 pillars that we wanted to achieve. That was sensitivity. That was actually Sri Ram School's one of its 4 pillars as well. And then empowerment and equality we wanted to achieve. and the only means to achieve this is through education. I believe that's how, because that's only the future generations can actually incorporate these three qualities, and hence the name C4 Children game. And I'm so glad that this is finally coming to such a great futurization of sorts. So thank you so much for letting me here.
Thank you, Shrey.
Mr. Pankaj, can I take a minute to,
ma'am.
a big shout out to Shrey Bansal and Shaurya Sinha for this initiative. It's our students who make us proud, and it is you students who will make this world a better place. So, pat on the back, and very proud of you. God bless you.
Your school is a rock star school, and I'm going to come to Shaurya a little later. But thank you so much, and thank you, Shrey. You have to do a lot more, even if you are in Singapore, right? We are counting on that. Thank you, Shrey. Happens to be my son, and that's how this idea came up. Thank you, Shrey. Thank you, ma'am, again. We will take 5 more minutes in explaining you the second part now, which is little esoteric. I know a little hard. Whenever you see your college friends, I have a college friend and he's late. He's been late from the college. I think you're so consistent. I love that. Thank you. So we move to the next part, friends, where we will take 5 minutes more. And Vishal, can I request you to come here, or with Devashish? Vishal, so we all work at a company called People Strong, right? Many of us are involved there, and we've learned from each other. So Vishal is our CTO there, and Vishal is also an IIT Delhi alumnus. And we thought we can't do something just on the financial side. We'll have to do something on the mental well-being, et cetera, et cetera. And we needed technology. So we banked on Vishal as always, and we said, Vishal, you are free on Saturday, Sunday, so why don't you help us? So he kindly agreed that he will help. And I'm going to just share with you what this life matrix is all about. Even you all can enjoy, though very candidly, we are not focusing on you. We are focusing on people like Shaurya, on Kainat, and many youngsters who are there in this room. So we're going to just share what is it. And today, we are not going to hide any words, mince any things, and we are telling you the truth. Please don't think we are Hindus or Muslims or Christians. We genuinely feel that our scriptures carry a very rich knowledge. So we are going to share with you the secrets of the code. After this, you will never hear it. So please take it in the right spirit. So we realized everyone is born with an energy orientation. There is a calling and there is a tribe, and we'll explain you why. Tribe is like, we will allow them to have smaller families, 4 or 5. Like a WhatsApp, like a 4 or 5 families. We will help them in identifying the calling they have, and we will help them in managing their energy orientation. And we will explain you what is it. And we have a buddy called Shelly, the bot, who will make all this work. And all this tech which will work at the back end is created by people like Vishal and everyone else. We have one more teacher for Shriram mentoring, which is Purnima. Thank you, Purnima, for joining. Come. So this is what the secret sauce is. You see this 3 by 3? If you go and talk to some of the scriptures, you will see centered, active, and off course. Have you heard of words sattvic, tamasic, rajasic, right? So there's a whole philosophy around it. We are taking off any Sanskritization so that it is not having any biases. And we said we'll pick up words like centered, active, and off course. What do you do when you have that kind of an energy orientation that you're born with? You can manage it. On the other side, Vishal was studying for last few years Ayurveda. And we realized we all have what words we use, kapha, pitta. Have you heard of these things? Now, no one uses it, but it's extremely powerful. Many of the medical sciences, the medicine is basis on these things. So we created 3 terminologies: air, fire, and water. So imagine a young child getting into a game, choosing an avatar. Suppose I choose whatever. What avatar? What avatar you guys choose? Any? So if suppose there are 100 options we have, and they pick up one smart avatar out of it, and they say, this is me, Pankaj, getting into a game. And within 5 minutes, we'll be able to capture what orientation the person has. We all are born with it. So I may be air, I may be ether, so we will pick up like fire and active, means the person will be very aggressive. This is fact. We can do this test offline if you want. We can just tell you people who will be here, of course, and water, they'll have a lot of attachments with things. So we get that profile in flat 5 minutes with that small assessment that a young child does. And after that, they manage this game, which has 5 levels. And have a look at this. And Shelly will help them play this game like a buddy on around. They can work on their mind, they can work on their body, they can work on their senses, which is seeing, touch, all these drugs, etc. is nothing but stimulating your senses, right? And they can work on their endeavors. In Hindi, the word is prayas, right? And they can work on connecting with their spirit. So all the 5 levels they can accomplish till mastery level as they play the game. So this is at the back end, but they will not hear Ayurveda word, they will not hear any scriptures, they will just see it like a cool game. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. It's going to take us about a year, if not more. It requires massive funding because the professionals who build games are not easy to find and work. Vishal, you want to just talk about especially the Ayurveda part, why you picked that up?
Yeah, so Pankaj, as rightly said, that there's a lot of richness in our tradition. And, while modern medicine may seem as a very quick fix, and that's why people go towards that, but a lot of basis. So modern medicine looks at you as a constitution of organs rather than constitution of elements, right? So, but our ancient tradition like Ayurveda, so that's very, very close to nature, and it helps you find the right issues, helps you diagnose what problems you have and why it is happening. And if you use that rightly, then probably you can find out how you can fix the issues that are at the core. So, but again, it's slightly uncool for the younger generation. So we thought that how we can package it in a way so that people relate to it, younger generation relates to it, and at the same time this entire wisdom can be used for betterment of people. So this is what we are trying to do.
The key word that Vishal said, we are elements. So imagine if we can just help the youngsters what to eat and giving them multiple options. What to do. Some people, we may help them in setting up goals. Some people, we may help them in going for a counseling. Some people, we help them in connecting to the mentors. Some people, we may encourage them to pick up sports. Some people, creative, basis their field. So that's what this game will do. They will enjoy and they will move away, hopefully, from PUBG and come to this, which is not violent, which is very meaningful, and they will enjoy. So that's the endeavor we have. So friends, these are the 2 things why we requested you all to join. So once again, a big thank you for the education part, what we call C for Children, and secondly, this whole initiative. It will not be easy, but let me tell you, people who've been working to make this work. This is the team. We have Lameen Abdul Malik, who's a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Lameen, can you hear us and see us?
Yes, I can.
Thank you so much for joining in, Lameen. We really appreciate your inputs and guidance given to us. Lameen is a Nobel laureate, and their organization did phenomenal work in winning the Nobel Peace Prize. But I think more than that, he's a coffee connoisseur, and we have a persona of a Nobel Peace Prize winner that they must be just thinkers. He is, but I think the work he's doing is beautiful. So Lameen, thank you very much for guiding YouInYou. Big hand for Lameen. Lameen is based out of Dubai. Thank you, Lameen. Thank you so much for joining in. Anything you wish to say,
No
Lameen?
problem. Well, I'll just say that I'm really honored to be part of this initiative. And I've recently just taken up a new position in another organization that I can see definitely some similarities looking at using technology, especially AI and robotics, to kind of benefit humanity. So I'm looking to see how we can explore synergies.
Thank you so much, Lameen, and we are also looking forward. And many of you will know Nishant. Thank you, Nishant. Nishant is a well-known corporate leader, formerly the managing director for LinkedIn, and he worked at Freshworks, and now he's the founding partner of Avatar Ventures. So thank you, Nishant, for being here and guiding us. We would love to hear.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. I find it very, very inspiring today. Actually, Pankaj may remember this, but we had a workshop with kids about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, in the other room of Quorum. We were just trying to explore, are kids going to be interested in this? Is it cool enough or not? And it's so heartening to see that just a couple years later, we're actually announcing the initiative in the same place. I feel, lockdown in particular has taught us that we have to be very grateful. All of us sitting in this room are very, very fortunate in life. And so being able to go back and help others who are less fortunate has to become a part of our lives. I'm grateful to Pankaj and Devashish for putting in so much hard effort over the years for this. And I'm counting on all of your support to make this successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Nishant. Thank you so much. And you know, Nishant and Lameen are helping us, guiding us, keeping us anchored on how we progress on this. And I must share with you a small incident in the workshop that we were doing. A young child started looking at the toy watch that they have, and then he asked me, "How long will you take?" So, you know, he was so nice. Basically, he was getting bored. And that time I realized, and my sister Neha was also there, Nishant was there. I just walked out and I said, you know what, we don't understand them. We may think we understand corporate, but kids are so pure, so straightforward. That question that when he asked that how much time you will speak. So I realized that, you know, I don't know how to reach out to them. That's when I went back and I said, we need to do something else. This physical format will not work. And that's when we realized there has to be a financial model, because we understand we come from corporate, so we can arrange that capital and reach out to them. And second, let's use technology to reach out to them. We will always be uncool, at least in this life. So friends, with that, I want to also introduce you, know Devashish and myself now, but I want to thank, you must see how Devashish is with kids. You know, you put 30 kids in room, I can promise you, he'll be the best teacher, best entertainer for kids. Nothing beats you. Love you, Devashish. And and uh, and we have three very special. So everybody says you build boards. We said we can't build a board unless we have youngsters in it, right? And that's when we came up with Aniket. Aniket is traveling all across country. He's a filmmaker, 19 years. You must watch his films to realize what quality is. He stays in Dharamshala. A brilliant kid, and he's doing just some amazing work. 5-10 years, you will definitely see a great filmmaker. And remember his name. His name is Aniket. From Dharamshala. Second is Palak. Palak, I don't know is here, but her mom is here. Palak, and I like it when parents are introduced through them, you know, and not the other way around. Yeah, Palak is a student at New York School of Design. Again, a very creative child doing some beautiful work. And her mom is helping us, called Meenu from Doodle Corp, in putting up videos that we are creating here. Some of you may have got my links. This is the second video we have released yesterday. We are taking these videos and we're going to build about 18 of them, and you will keep getting them. So you can subscribe the YouInYou channel on YouTube if you like. So thank you, Palak. Please convey our thanks to her. And Shaurya, of course, who's here. Shaurya is someone that I'm inspired. Yeah, you should come. I'm really inspired with the work that this boy has done. I've seen him because I know his father very well. And as I said, parents should be known by them and not the other way around. So, you know, he walked in first and Sandeep and Shefali came later. So I said, you send a celebrity first. You should have come before them. Shaurya is now at Stanford, amongst the couple of kids who got in. Shaurya has done initiatives which I can go on and explain you. He won the presidential award. He's very sharp, very smart, can understand business models, right, and everything. So Shaurya, great to have you, and thank you for all the ideas. He was the one who first meeting, when we were telling him what we want to do, he came up, he said, your intention is great, but you're trying to do too many things. I think my colleagues at office also says this, they're all here. And I think he also said, so I said, I must listen to him. So we cut down everything in just two things. We said there's a financial model and there's a game. This may take 2 years, 3 years, I don't know, but with them around, we will do. We would love to hear from you, Shaurya.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me over here. And this was a project that the moment I heard, I resonated with, because I feel like, you know, education in India traditionally has been very value centric. And I went to the Shriram school, and Manisha ma'am can attest to this. It's all about values. And, you know, we have 4 core values as well. But I feel like as you progress through high school, you slowly lose sense of some of those values and you prioritize things like your marks, getting into college. So I feel like this is definitely a very integral part of education, and one that, you know, with the help of technology, we can hopefully deliver. And again, with the Ayurvedic link, I'm a student of psychology. I studied that in high school as well. And I think that the disposition that you can analyze for a person has been done extremely well through Ayurvedic studies. And a lot of people don't realize that. And, you know, they hear the Sanskrit names and they definitely detach themselves from the whole concept. But I do think that this will be, you know, a step in India towards, you know, going back to our roots and recognizing the inherent value we have, rather than looking at, you know, the United States and going on TikTok and Instagram and, you know, all of the other social media channels. But, you know, I really hope that this does really well, and I can't wait to see what happens. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Shaurya. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. So this gives me hope. If they are around, we'll definitely find our way. But again, friends, I know, don't expect that in 1 year the wonders will happen. And I think it's a huge responsibility we have, but we are very sure it will happen. So once again, thank you to our council members and our advisor, and most importantly, our team. So you see Vishal here leading the technology stack and helping us arranging resources, people from all over the world. Thank you, Vishal. We have Arun Garg, who will help us on accounting and managing things. Thank you, Arunji. If you can hear us, I can see you on the screen. Really appreciate that. And we have Vani from Sydney. Thank you, Vani, from logged in. She's there. So, you know, Vani is a real agile worker. So she can, our website is still underway, but she can immediately update websites and whatnot. She's like a true aggregator for all of us. Sitting out of Sydney, she keeps us disciplined. Every Saturday, we have a call 3 to 4:30 because that's the best time for across the sun, right? So thank you, Vani, for being there and doing the work. Then we have our content lead who you met at the gate. She was doing registration, doubling up. Soma, get up, please. Thank you. Soma is a specialist on content. So a lot of things that we need to do have content role in it. And Soma is going to help us. She ran her own school in Gurgaon for young kids. So Soma, great to have you. And thank you for all those fights and PPTs and content that you build up. Thank you. We have Bhushan. Bhushan is there. Thank you, Bhushan. Bhushan, you know, I never realized that doing even good work is very tough. Registration of a foundation, I tell you, it was a nightmare. And I don't know, in COVID, we had to go there. And it was Bhushan who was talking to consultants. People even asked for bribe. Can you beat this? They asked us. I said, we are coming for a noble cause and we have no fund. We have not started. Where do I bribe you? And what do I bribe you for? And I think at a point of time, they backed off and they said, okay, we should allow them because they will keep chasing us. So I think they just got fed up with Bhushan's follow-up. Then second, you think opening a bank account is easy? People chase you all the time, right? I'm telling you, it took us 3 months. We were tired of giving documents. And HDFC was the bank that we chose, right or wrong, I don't know, but I think we'll have to look at other banks. It was crazy. And I see Sukhjit here. Sukhjit, thank you. Sukhjit is from Kotak Bank. And now we're going to come to you, Sukhjit, and probably help us. But even opening a bank account is so hard if you're a trust. And I'm sure banks are not wrong. There are people who have done fraudster activities, so they've become very careful. And finally, we realized, and SSMI taught us, that if you want funding from outside, there are friends who wants to send money. You know, in India, there is only one place you can open a bank account, that's Sansad Marg, SBI branch, to get the money in. Can you imagine? This is India. This is grown-up India. We have only one bank, that too SBI, one branch in Parliament Street to receive money. So doing good is also not easy, friends. It's harder sometimes than running a company. And Bhushan, thank you for doing all of that groundwork and grunt work. We really appreciate it. Thank you. And last but not the lead, we have Harsimran from Canada. Harsimran, can you see us, hear us? Yeah. Harsimran is an artificial intelligence specialist, an expert on machine learning, based in Toronto. The challenge is time zone, so you can imagine it's unearthly hour for him. And he's got up and he looks pretty decently decked up. So I don't want to ask you what you're wearing, but I can see only t-shirt and we are fine. So thank you so much, Harsimran. You want to quickly say anything, Harsimran? We want to hear from you.
No, thank you everyone for having here. It's a privilege and honor. So there was time when, so I also work at People Strong with Pankaj, and connected from there, I always had this urge around education should be an equal opportunity for everyone in the world. But then we have many unfortunate underprivileged children who don't get this opportunity. So Pankaj was already working on something with Shaurya, Shrey, regarding the C for Children. I became part of that initiative, and suddenly it has just evolved into YouInYou, such a big initiative. Very privileged to be part of this and want to take it to the next level. And it should become much more than a corporate because it's meant for a noble cause. So I wish all the big success to YouInYou. Thank you.
Thank you. So friends, net, we needed free resources to work. So we all are free resources available on Saturday, Sunday to work. That's the only way. Otherwise, we can't afford to hire people of this pedigree. But keep giving us your wishes and blessings. So this is what we want to say. You can tell your friends, you can spread a word, we have started, and we are not best at it. We are just clearing up things because the week just goes by. We get some time on Saturday, Sunday to do this. You can subscribe the channels. As I said, you can support a child or a class. This is the office we have. It's mandatory for a trust to have office. So it's in Old Gurgaon. We put a small plate and we give a very meager rental so that we have an official address. This is our bank account details. So my sincerity is my credentials is what we can say more than anything else, right? This is the URL code. It's there. If you want to use it and keep it with you, please do that. It'll be live. And once again, thank you. And this is what we can say. YouInYou, we need many kids like this beautiful child there who will help us. So thank you, Devashish. Anything in closing?
Thank you, everyone. And we will always constantly request your support, guidance, and blessings in this endeavor. I'm absolutely certain that in a year from now, we would have made some delta difference in the lives of young children who haven't got the opportunity, and also in the lives of the youth.
And I think we are doing well on time. We said that we'll try and wrap up by 1:15, so I think we have 10-15 minutes. So we are open to questions, suggestions. You heard us. We want you to give a critical feedback.
Before we move forward, can we just wish, we have a couple here whose marriage anniversaries today. That's Faisal and Shabano.
Faisal and Shabano, happy wedding anniversary.
Happy wedding anniversary.
And thank you for taking your time on this is such a very special day to be with us.
Yeah,
it's a blessing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. And after you've spent as much time as Shah and I have being married, I think being with people is much better than being alone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Faisal. And Faisal and Shah, I was just writing to them that, the best partnerships are much beyond commercials and give and take. So it's so lovely to see the way you both are. Thank you. And they have also wonderful 2 kids. And one of them is in Canada again, Mevish, who's doing very well. She was a topper of DPS Arkepuram. And I wish she was here, but I know she had to be there. So good to have you all, and keep blessing us. So friends, back to you. Any questions, suggestions that you have? Any one of you, even on the video or here, would love to. Yes, sir.
Just wanted you to give us a little input on how you plan to do the evaluation and monitor the efficacy of the money you're going to give.
It's a beautiful question. He's asking, how will we make sure that the money deployed is going to the right reasons? We know there are enough hanky-panky. So first, 2 schools that we have identified, we've looked at, studied their financials, who are auditing them, and got into detail, the trust details, So I think that's what we did at SSMI number 1. At Lotus Petal, again, like Lotus Petal is governed through KPMG, right? Their audits. So we will make sure once the money starts flowing them, we're going to have 2 or 3 large agencies who will make sure that those audits are done on an annual basis. But we are not just going to blindly start sending or throwing money. So we will make sure we will follow up. It's a wonderful question. And Kushal explained the wonderful governance systems they have. I'm glad you asked. And we have thought of a role once we start getting money that a person's focus will only be this. And we thought we'll have a CFO. We realized most of these schools are not probably best. There are exceptions like Lotus Petals, but not best in managing finances. They're not doing anything wrong, but just don't know how to get money, how to smartly handle. So we're going to have a CFO who will enable those 10, 15 schools, at least half a day a month or a day in a month, and we deploy an accounting professional. That's the idea, sir. That's the idea. Thank you for asking this.
Any more questions? Happy to.
Yes, there's a question there.
Yes. Hi. I'm Rajiv Malhotra. Hi, Pankaj.
Thank you, Rajiv. Nice
thank
meeting
you for
you.
the opportunity. This is fantastic stuff what you guys are doing. Fantastic stuff.
So Rajiv is on British School Board, right? Governing board.
No, I'm no longer there.
He was. So thank you so much, Rajiv, for your.
Yeah, but Pankaj, fantastic stuff. One question I had was, the focus is predominantly NCR. The need probably is also in the rural areas.
That's right.
And I'm just wondering, while you have somebody at Dharamsala, etc., who's there, etc., there may be an opportunity to look at outside, where people like us don't have an opportunity to help the children out in remote areas. So is there any thought on that?
Absolutely, sir. So actually, I have my friend Nirmal is here. His father runs a school in Balia, and it's the most well-known school. It's up to 8th class. Most of the kids go to the top schools of the country. You'll be amazed. Balia is not even a major town. So we looked at it, and the cost there, like a school in Delhi. So I told you we are business people, so we are trying to take that learning. A school in Delhi costs us about 3 crore a year for 1,000 kids or 800 kids. There, the cost may be just less than or maybe 1/4, right, to run the similar thing. So the only thing is we don't want to commit that we can't deliver. So in the first year, we want to focus on NCR, pick up 3 schools. Maybe it'll take 2-3 years to arrange enough funding. Once we reach there, our next stop will definitely be schools like Balia. And definitely the answer is yes, but we will only spread as much wings as we can manage. Because as he asked the right question, we should be very careful because we are in a way, in Urdu, there is a word called muhafiz. So we are the custodians of that money that people give. And we may have 1,000 donors giving 2,000, 10,000, 20,000 a month. So we must make sure that money is reaching to the right place. So as long as we can manage that, we'll be open. That's the idea, sir. Thank you for asking, Rajiv, and thank you for joining in. Yes, DK. So DK was president with HCL, and yeah, DK,
Yeah,
would love to hear.
it's a fantastic initiative, Pankaj.
Thank you, DK.
In any case, and like Shivnara Foundation has been also doing a lot of work for the underprivileged people over the years, 10 years. Fortunately, I was associated with that.
That's right.
So here I see the similar kind of, the budding star will come out from this whole process. And I'm very impressed about your school, which you're running from 1964, I saw somewhere, right? You need stamina.
So he's established Shivnadar whole university school. He's on the board. Yeah.
So most important, or maybe I would like to dig further some other point time, the kind of content you are trying to, educate, imbibe in the students. What is the kind of curriculums and all that? Because we experimented one where we took the 10th standard person to, do the software work.
That's right.
And I was pushed back saying that, it's only an engineer can do, and that too from IIT or RECs, We created a 9-month program where we taught 10th and 12th students.
Imagine.
And there are almost about 5,000 inside the system.
Wow.
So I'm saying that the things are so much changing here. So maybe in this school where maybe underprivileged is fine. This is an underprivileged school with Gyan there where people have gone to Stanford, many other places. So there is a potential in the young kid.
Of course.
We undermine, we understate. Okay, no, let them follow the norm, of the same 10 plus 2 plus 4 and whatnot. I think there's a time to, see what is more relevant and how fast they can go and stand on their feet and start earning. That gives.
Wonderful. No, great point. Though we will not influence the content directly, DK, very candidly, but yeah, we would be more than happy to take this input on academic side. So he's telling us that even there is a stigma that in 10th class you can't teach this or that, but the industry is looking for it. So everything is changing. We'll make sure that once we start working with the schools, that we give them this advice, this suggestion, get them probably a group of teachers like we're thinking of a finance function, maybe a function like this, which can give them on call whenever they want. Fully understood. Any other points, inputs, questions? Yes. Then I'll come to
Pankaj, I was just thinking it might be helpful for people to understand why one of the reasons we want to get them off these schools off government support. So what are some of the challenges that they face?
So I think she would have, so I'll speak on what happens, and because I can be politically wrong, she can't be. So I told you that, 60,000 rupee fee, all that. So the challenge in government aided school is their board meeting is a challenge because they don't allow the school to run. They interfere so much. It's a political agenda. The chief minister will stand and say, I'm running 20 schools, 40 schools, and I told you the challenge. And if a good school is not paying 60,000 rupees, then they are non-compliant. Can you imagine a school which is teaching underprivileged children paying to a teacher 65,000 rupees? It is just crazy. So this is the struggle they have. So I'm very candid. I know I was advised and Lameen was asking a question. I told Lameen that, we are not going to fight with government, but we are going to push them back in the corner. That either you step out and stop intervening in the school, or we will become the financial resource. We don't need Delhi's government. I'm saying we are not against any party or any government, but we are against if you are playing up with the child's input, we will not let you do that. That's the idea. We are very, very clear about it. On the other side, there are other schools who are not aided. They don't have enough funds to manage. So it's a double-edged sword. They don't know what to do. If they take it, then they can't give quality. If they don't take it, they struggle for basics. So that's the idea, Nishant. I'm glad you asked that. We are going to make sure the day we become financially independent, that these schools are out of the clutches of government. And if they join, I'll come to you, sir.
Thank you, Pankaj. Incredible initiative, and I've had the privilege of. Okay. I've had the privilege of working with this team for 12, 13, 14 years, giving Pankaj a lot of pain. I still remember my first meeting with the team, and I said, the market is so ripe, the business is so perfect, people strong needs to fly. And I remember Devashish telling me, give us the wings and we will show you how we fly. And fly it did. So, the way company took off was for everyone to see. So, how the team has performed in the past has been fabulous. I think the challenge you're talking about, some of the schools is real. I had a chance to have an interaction with the education minister, and they were pushing us to do a few things, and we expressed our reservation of why we can't. And the minister turned around and said that you guys are investors, you come in big cars, you have no idea about the reality on the ground. And I took that moment to tell him that my mom was a municipal school teacher. My wife's mom was a municipal school teacher. I've personally spent more hours in a municipal school than the minister has ever done in his life. Right? And I actually told that to him on the face, and I said it has to do with how you interact and deal with the teachers, which is a problem. The teachers is not a problem. One recommendation, Pankaj, I wanted to make was that a lot of people, when they contribute, they want to be able to understand how that 1 rupee made a difference. It's always a challenge because if you are a part of a 2 crore, 3 crore pool, then you don't know what your 1500 rupee did. I think if we can create, leveraging technology, and I think we have probably one of the best technologies, that if somebody contributes that 1500 rupees per month, if there is a way to create a causality, to know how that 1500 made a difference to the life of one individual, it will give that, deep inner satisfaction or recovery from the guilt that a lot of us need to know how it has made a difference. So some level of technology-based, blockchain-based methodology, where every contributor knows how and where their money made a difference. I think it will go a long way in terms of the success of the business.
Thank you. It's a brilliant point. Thank you. And actually, we have thought of an app through which you will be able to track if this is donated, which class. And we said if somebody donates for a class, for instance, we'll even put the name, say Mr. XYZ, class 8B. Because some people who will give, or they want to dedicate the name to their loved one or father or mother, whatever. And then Lotus Petals told us they already have an app wherein you can donate and they'll be able to show you how it's progressing. So we are just realizing that doing good work is hard. Once you decide, there are people who come along. So I think we are going to leverage a lot that they have and make sure, Sandeep, this is right on the agenda. It may not happen on day one, but it will happen. The example that Shrey was giving, we're going to first request that when you give birthday presents to each other, it doesn't help because we all have, what will you give? Can you just on your parties get somebody like a YouInYou or any school and make them stand in your party and people can give the gifts to them? We tried this in a party at our home. 75,000 rupees was raised on an evening because suppose my in-laws wanted to gift something to me and my wife Chandan. We said, we have enough with your Ashirwad, you give it to this. That day they collected 75,000 rupees, just 4 or 5 families, because there was a special occasion. So why not? Why keep giving gifts which you end up distributing to someone else? So this is how we're doing. But Sandeep, point fully noted. This is the one big thing. If you have to go to 20,000 people, they have to have visibility. Point taken. Yes, sir.
No, thank you. So, no, congratulations, great program, and all the best. Just two dilemmas, which because I run these programs when I was at Coke, and I started Support My School.
Yes, sir.
And that was about infrastructure and about 1,000 government schools. So one thing which is there is credibility, which we've talked about on how the donation is funneled through and reaches. The other is how do you communicate the program better and more. Sometimes a good media partner helps you.
Oh, absolutely.
And would be very happy to help you in this regard, because I run a consultancy where we network people, you know.
Sir, can I know your name? Please pardon my ignorance.
My name is Deepak Jolly.
Deepak.
I run a small consulting firm, Consortia Advisory.
Wonderful.
So we've done it for the elders during pandemic, and happy to tell you that today the NGO which ran that is going to run for 7 state governments the helpline for elders. So,
wow.
So that is the kind of power of media which can help. And just thought one point. And my second 2 cents is about that whatever now the new programs you run, you will have to think the structure of an online and offline.
Yes,
both.
Sir.
So
Yes,
just
sir.
thought these are my
No,
points.
wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Jolly. And we will make sure that we come back to you. You don't know what you have offered. Sometimes people just script that, oh, why did we say yes? We'll go after you. But yes. So we will definitely. Yes, ma'am.
Just adding to the programs, there is a huge need today. We do not really appreciate teachers.
Absolutely.
And that's a demotivating factor, very negative air that has got set in.
Right.
There's always an air of agitation or too much on their plate, which managements also forget to look at. So within your program, once in a while, in 6 months or 1 year, or whatever, if you can throw in something like that to really work out a special campaign just to appreciate teachers, would be well taken in.
बहुत अच्छा point है Sunita ji. So I'll just
And
tell
talking of teachers, I think Purnima is here.
Yeah.
So she wanted to ask a question too.
Please.
Yeah, Namaste Pankaj. I just wanted to ask, since you are doing such an amazing work, are you planning to do something for children with special needs also? Because, you know, even in Delhi NCR, even if you go to the biggest schools, there are only very few schools who have a SEN department. So there are special needs children in, you know, underprivileged sections also. So are you planning to do anything for them as well?
No, beautiful question. And I think you aware she heads the department for Sri Ram School for children with special needs, right? So thank you for joining, Purnima. First, answering ma'am and you, let me tell you, one, we will remain focused. So our agenda is twofold. One is raise capital, make sure it reaches, number one. Number two, we will build that game. So first, we will remain focused. Number two, as we build up, there is a shared services function. As I told you, there'll be finance. Similarly, we'll have content leaders who will make sure that teachers, for instance, we can start an award. All the schools that we are doing, we will study and we'll declare awards for the best teachers. So suppose 2 teachers from SSMI, 2 teachers from Lotus Petal. This will be our way to acknowledge them. Maybe organize events for them. So this is the thought. But today, whatever I say, it's just a plan. I don't have a detail. I don't have an Excel sheet. I have no way how we will do, because we are struggling. These 7 volunteers that we have today, they do every work. But I don't know once we grow up how this foundation will look like. But point fully taken. Coming to Purnima, what you asked, I think Lotus Petals and SSMI, whatever they do is what we do. We are as good as them, right? They are, because we are not going to specially create a class. We will encourage all our schools that we are investing that please be as inclusive as you can. Not only for children with special needs, but also for LGBT community, for anything. After 8th, 10th class, that's becoming a big issue of inclusivity. So this is our promise and intent that we will definitely go there. But Purnima, I'll not be fair if I say on day one, this is my top agenda. Not that it's not there, it's a part of our plan. But today, my first agenda is make sure that I get those 3 crore to 30 crore. I know it sounds foolish, but that's how it happens. We are very sure we'll get that 30 and 30 crore. And second is to game, but we'll come. And next year when we meet again, hopefully we'll have something to report to you. So 24th Jan, you can block in your calendars. Every year we were going to meet either digitally or here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I know I'm coming between you and your lunch. We have time for one more question. Or yes, Karthik.
Sorry, this is Karthik. I had a question for Kushal and Sunita ji. We all talk about kids. I just wanted to know, is there a dearth of teachers, people who volunteer to come and teach? Because I think I somehow in my mind kept thinking about that this is not a profession everybody wants to run towards. I remember an initiative called Teach for India run by the government a few years back, I think, where you could volunteer as an individual, go and teach in a school for a couple of months. But do you feel that gap? Do you have that gap?
Campaign or whatever. The problem is the volunteer cannot give a full time with the school goes on. And at times volunteers don't really come on the time they are required. This is a defeating factor. Though we encourage volunteerism to a large extent, but it becomes weekends, it becomes afternoons when the children are not there. So regular teachers in any case are required for a school running program.
Hi. So I'll second Man's thoughts. We at Lotus Petal, we have full-time teachers working for us Monday to Friday and Monday to Saturday. And we do not permit volunteers to take the main classes because the children of our background need continuity, stability, emotional well-being, and they need to be held together. Not just academically, but a whole lot goes between them. So there is a very, in fact, in the junior classes, we don't even have multiple teachers because a child needs emotional stability more than anything. So we do not have volunteers as main teachers. Having said that, at Lotus Petal, volunteering is extremely important. It's the third dimension to education because whatever we are teaching within the school has to be practiced outside with an outsider. मतलब अगर अंग्रेजी बोलना सीख रहे हैं तो उसको practice भी करनी है. So because when they go back to their shanties and to the cars they have to wash or the press ka kapda they have to deliver. So we are really high on volunteering and we have programs that we have plugged in. There are multiple projects and programs that volunteers can work and clock in their hours, and it's pretty seamless now. So, and it has also got to do with personality building, education, life skill training, getting the resumes ready, teaching them how to be ready for the interview or storytelling. So that is also encompassing the education element, but so to say, main teaching is not what we do. But yeah, we are very, very big on volunteers.
Thank you. And just one small point, Purnima, there is a school called Asha School for specially abled and children that was run by the armed forces, the AVA wing of it, and I've supported it. There are 32 schools in India that do this work where they're all inside the cantonments and they allow children from outside to come in also, all specially abled children. Even they struggle for funding. So at some point of time in one of our initiatives, we used to adopt these 32 schools. We adopted all of them, but it's a huge gap. And whenever Pankaj and you are ready to do that part of the thing, the best school to kind of pick out from is Asha School. Very well maintained, very clean, but anybody and everybody struggle for funding.
My mother, being a Fauji wife, was a member of ABBA, and I remember these schools run very well, but they need a lot of funding.
No, fully. Thank you. Noted. Karthik is ex-major from Indian Army and now with Prudential or Pramerica.
Thank you, Pankaj and Devashish. I think this is definitely the need of the hour to have a very value-based emphasis on bringing out help for the underprivileged. I think the two focal points which I felt was the values that you have emphasized and the fact that you are reaching out to the younger generation through technology. So I think that's something which I have seen over the years, and I got associated with the nonprofit many years ago, and I think these two elements of your work are really really the pillars which will make it come out. So two suggestions I have for you. Number one is on values, where you say that you're bringing the upcoming generation to, you opening the doors of fairness for them. I think that a lot of these values come from parents and the grandparents. So somewhere in your model, if you can include the grandparents, because they have the time and they have the wisdom
Great
to
suggestion.
distinguish. So you could, because parents will be busy with, doing the.
So much going on,
so,
providing.
Yeah. So do that. And the second thing which I want to highlight is that, we've, for some part of our lives, we were outside India. And we see that a lot of our friends and family and kids want to come back and they want to contribute. So how do you integrate all that volunteer hours and interest which is outside India? How do you bring that fraternity to focus on your initiative? So you could definitely incorporate some methodology.
Fantastic suggestion.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so I'll come to Kanat, so I'll come to you, Neha. So I think for the second part, I think we'll depend on the schools. And the first part, grandparents, great idea in our game. We are going to ask them, tell us which values you taught to your children. So they are a little hopeless about us, but hopefully hopeful to the next generation. Yeah. Next.
Yeah.
So first of all, Pankaj Uncle and Mr. Devashish, I really love this initiative and I really love the idea and the intention behind this, especially the fact that how you guys are involving our traditional values because Indian culture is very rich. And I really wish like my generation and generations that come along know the value of our culture. And I have just one suggestion for you guys. So I feel like to connect with young children, I think sports is a really important part. Like that's one of the languages that helps you connect. And I know personally there are so many youngsters, especially college players, that would be willing to help you guys in terms of volunteering or, not everybody in our country gets a chance to play at the level they want to. So I think having time to commit towards these schools, I think that would give them a purpose too. And I personally know this, I don't know. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he used to play basketball for Mayo College. And then he did his education, I think, in business, but then he left everything. And now he's running a school in Geja village. And that school is called the Tribal Academy, where he focuses on education and he's enriching people's or children's life through basketball. And personally, I know him personally because he was one of the ways I got connected to the school I studied in America. So I know that would be a really great help for you guys.
It's a great input. So I can just tell you that we are gamifying, but that doesn't mean we are giving sports opportunities. But again, like Lotus Petal said, they have a huge infra that is coming up. Go to SSMI. I was like, you have to be there to believe these schools are building such beautiful infra for sports. But we'll make sure, not in the first year, but over the years we'll do. And before you give it to Neha, there is a Central Square Foundation, and I was trying to take help of Nupur. Nupur advises them. I spoke to Ashish, who's the founder, who was a big VC earlier. He said, Pankaj, whatever you're doing, when I told him 10,000 SIGs, he said, I thought we are doing a big thing. He said, 10,000 is nothing. He said, this country, we are deploying $6 trillion probably on education. He said, so this is nothing. So Central Square Foundation is, the point I'm trying to say, like the school you gave, there are so many things kind of to be done across the country. But again, I'm saying the hard part for us, he gave me a lot of suggestions. He connected with some people. So they said, okay, you start. Once you think you're reaching 10,000, let us know. We'll help you scale up. So this initiative, 10,000 kids is not the ultimate goal. It's the first goal. And we'll make sure we cover special children needs. We cover sports, everything. But we are no one. We want to be invisible. We want Lotus Petal to be visible. We want SSMI to be visible. We would love to be invisible, but yes, we will make sure that we come. Yeah, Neha.
Yeah, so of course I feel overwhelmed with what I've seen today. So wonderful, and many congratulations to the team for this wonderful work. And when People Strong was starting, and when I was a part of People Strong, we requested all the clients to come and write something. If you remember, there was this bat activity, we bat for you, and somebody wrote Asman Ki Or. That was Suresh Tripathi. And I feel that People Strong did fly, and I wish the same for this foundation as well, because it has a brilliant impact, probably way larger in terms of what we are trying to do. The only suggestion I had was breaking the barriers and keeping it continuously in our mind. So when we are designing this app as well, I think it should be in all languages. I'm sure you'll do that. But it just should reach out to anybody and everybody without any constraints of English or Hindi.
No, no,
So
brilliant
that's
point.
there.
Yes, ma'am,
Thank
we'll
you.
take one or two more questions, then we'll break for lunch. But I'll just tell you, Neha, this language sounds easy. It's such a complex thing. So Vishal and we debated in the Hofstede. He'll come to you, Mrigank. So Mrigank and that lady. So, there is left to right and right to left. You all understand that? Arabic is right to left. And first we had to make changes like that. Now, and I'm gaining on people strong experience. Now, in last 1 year, we have made it enable for all left to right languages. Now we are making it right to left because we have customers now in Dubai and other places that we are going. So it's a pretty complex thing, but I'm glad you said, Vishal, we should take care of this from day one. And this left to right, Kamakshi, and right to left, we'll have to kill it for once for sure. But it's complex. Then we need translators. So I can't share some things here. If you literally translate, it can be dangerous. And one of my colleagues did that, and I got a frantic call. What is your app saying? So I said, no, no, we meant this. So because when you literally translate something to English to Marathi or something, it can have a very bad meaning. So, but I fully take this is a great point, especially kids will come from all backgrounds. So we'll make sure we do it. Thank you. Yes, ma'am, and then to Mrigank. Let's go back. पीछे पीछे जाना Sure. Sure, sure. No, and no, absolutely. Thank you. And as you rightly said, but we'll not start with it. But definitely it will remain in our mind. We need volunteers. Yeah. No. So like the idea is the shared services at work, we will create these centers of excellence for finance, for teachers, for volunteers, so that schools have this available. And scale solves a lot of problem. I have learned this in life. Today we don't have scale, we don't have funding, we are deploying but good part is we have 8 lakh rupees before starting. Some of us just contributed. Devashi said today I'm going to host this. And I said, fine, we could have done it at any other location, but I said it's COVID time. People want to make sure that we are well sanitized, the place is good. So, we've just find people, but I hear you, the moment we scale, these things will come up. Thank you for saying that. Yes, Mrigank.
Thanks, Pankaj. Clearly, the journey of 1,000 steps always starts with the first. So
thank you.
So great first step taken. This question is really towards the Lotus Petal Foundation. I mean, I saw there was some photographs over there where children were taking some classes on a laptop and stuff. How was the experience? And now I hear that you actually are opening up another school of 5 acres. Is infrastructure really the limitation to be able to sort of reach out to lakhs of students across? And if you already have that foundation, why aren't you actually taking it across, or what are the plans around that? I'd just like to understand your views around that.
So, I'll break this question into different parts. First, I'll take it how it used to be pre-COVID. So, it used to be everything dependent upon how many children could get into one class and what is a teacher-child ratio. So until last year, this day of January, when we were getting ready for the March session, we just had that math in our head, like 1:11 teacher ratio, number of kids who can be squeezed into a class. Of course, the number of children that wanted to get into a class were exponentially high every year. The wait list was always more vibrating than the children who ultimately got in. The COVID completely changed everything for us. We were going to begin our session on March 23rd, but the lockdown started. And on March 28th, we started our online school. and what started with old phones at that time because the parents were at home has, by the time the unlock 1 happened in early May, we transitioned into a complete hybrid school, which meant that we were able to raise funds with people like you and me and you and you, who supported technology in education because parents were going back to work. So the phones were not at home and there were 3 or 4 children and it was hot. There were power cuts. So they wanted gadgets and devices. So we organized old laptops and new tablets, and every child, like you saw in Lotus Petal, has a device at home. We were able to give them stationery and notebooks so that they could have a proper online school operating from 8:30 till 2 or 3:30 at home, which was in the shanties. Now, as the schools are beginning to open and this hybrid model has worked for us, so we don't have to limit ourselves to 30 or 25 children in one class. Because now, even like if 20 children are in one class on one day, the other 20, 25 can be taking those regular classes from home. So that is how COVID has helped us set our boundaries further apart. With the new school coming up, it's a 5-acre land, which is great, but with it also comes with a huge responsibility of raising funds and getting that infrastructure ready. And in times like this, where we are right now, getting that up and ready, up and going is not possible overnight. So it's going to be a journey, but we are very hopeful. And the number of students that are in Lotus Petal schools has actually doubled during the COVID time because of technology being introduced wholeheartedly. So this is how it has changed. So what you saw, that children are actually sitting on the staircase, under the hand pump or on the rooftops. So that really is a morning to afternoon classroom at Lotus Petal now.
Mrigank, you're right. Building schools is not about school buildings, but yeah, we still need buildings. But as I'm sharing that, we are going to come up with, this is the backend we want to build. That we enable, if they're doing 5,000 and we get a best practice globally, that they can do 10,000, we will do it. And some things, as they said, COVID taught us, some things the digital will continue to evolve, but we will do. That's the idea. And maybe today we are saying 10,000, we may surprise ourselves that we can do a much more with lesser fund because of digital connectivity. So that's the idea. So thank you once again.
So Pankaj, just before we close, I think Ms. Radhika Bharatram, of Joint Vice Chairperson of the Shriram Schools, she's just messaged me. She's of course delighted and congratulating YouInYou and wants to see this journey go forward, especially Life Matrix Tribe and See for Children. She is congratulating Shaurya Sinha and Shrey Bansal just now, and I sent you a picture to her just now. So she's absolutely excited, and she says her son Mahir would really want to be a beta tester for Matrix.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah? We would love to have. I think she's doing phenomenal work through Shriram School. So great to have her wishes. Thank you, Lameen, on the video. Arun Garg, thank you so much. If you can hear us, Soma, Harsimran, Shrey, Vani, thank you so much. Thanks to each one of you for joining in COVID times and in this tough weather. Please join us for a quick lunch. It's being served at the back. I think they are ready. And continue to chat up, give your blessings. Keep telling us how we can improve. Every year, 24th January, we'll send you a mailer, if nothing else, that how we are progressing. And thank you once again. Thanks to each one of you, Kamakshi, Rahul, everyone, Prince, to come here. They're all volunteers for helping us. Thank you. Thank you, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, friends, and bon appetit. Please do join us for lunch. It's a working vegetarian lunch. And it's all sanitized. The dishes and all are sanitized in the cutlery, just so that you know.
Thank you.
All
Thank you, people on screen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.